Sound testing, testing. Yeah, sounds about right. I don't think anyone's awake right now, but hello everyone! I'm just gonna be streaming for a little bit while I continue on this. I'm a little cloggy, it's very early. So, see, I can close this down now. I can merge these. Yeah. Yeah. It's morning. It's Friday. We're all excited because it's Friday. I'm hoping everyone is having a great day so far. Sometimes I wonder, what the heck. I swear when it just goes under a certain thingy, it's like pressure sensitivity just dies. Nope. Okay, you know what? That's good enough for me. Good line. Let's see. How is stream is healthy? I should probably do this thing. Copy. Paste. Or not, apparently. What was I doing? Oh yes, I was drawing barrels. I was having barrels of fun, barrels of fun, and barrels of fun. There's all this fun. It's a barrel, Yali. If you don't get it perfect, that's perfectly fine. It's just a barrel. I mean, to be honest, getting a little bit imperfectly actually fits it. Because it's a barrel. How many people have actually seen a perfect barrel? I have. That's besides the point. Gosh darn, sorry. Oh well. Skal vi se. Vi skal se mye tydeligvis i min livstid. Man skal se mye før man har sett alt. Sa ingen noensinne. I guess that makes me the first one to say it. Oh my gosh, I'm coining it. Se den, og den der. Ja. Ja. Se her. I'm not even using the thingamadoohickey that you're supposed to use when you do backgrounds. Screw it, I can't be bothered. Anyway. There we go. Yeah. Yes. Perfect. Oh, this thing. How did I draw you so well? Well, now, my dear stack of plates, you get to see me fail at redrawing you. There, perfect. What's that? I really wish that I would just like make one nice long one and just copy paste it. Let's see if I can get away with that. No. Oh, sad. It's fine, it's part of the charm or whatever that they're kind of weirdly stacked. It's part of the charm. Actually, I'm beginning to wonder that these are just like baked plates. You know, like you kind of have like, you know, I know some countries have sorry. I know some countries have platters or like breads that they basically just use for instead of plates, which to me is just like, why would you not have that? Because think about it, no more dishes. You just eat your dish. Done. I feel like they'll come with all their like corn and wheat and barley and all that stuff. They would do that. Here you go. So these are no longer plates, these are now breads. You can have a slight indentation though. Here. Yeah. Da 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 da. I mean, to be honest, I kind of wanted to have like a ton of different things on like the tables and stuff, and I might still add that, like plates and stuff, but for the most, people just have the tankards. They're like, heck yeah, tankards! Heck yeah! Praise Dunley, praise her and all her goodness, giving us all this bounty. Had nothing to do with manners at all. Hmm. Da 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 da. I was helping a friend transcribe his book, and I actually found it very easy to like sing out the sentences. And I don't mean sing as in like, oh, it has to rhyme, Sing as in just, like melody. It was very nice. It was fun. Stretchy time! Stretchy! There we go. Stretch has been achieved. Oh yeah. No, Callie, what are you thinking? Sad. Um, there. So, has that ugly green effect right now. But that's fine because these people are grading from the beginning. Ha 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 ha. No. Sad. Hmm. 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 Sad. I wonder if sorry. I wonder if Elvis has dropped into the public domain yet. Just sit and croon Elvis songs. I grew up with a lot of Elvis. Let's just say my mom was a huge fan. The kind of fan that had a huge profile painting of Elvis in her bedroom. Over her bed. It was a nice picture though. He had a very calming effect on his face. On his face! As opposed to... well, it was just a profile picture. Cakes! Usually I like drawing cakes, but now I'm just half-assing these cakes. No one would eat these cakes. I would not eat these cakes. Usually I draw cakes that I feel like I would want to eat. And if I don't feel like I would want to eat the cake, I'm like, ugh, this cake is terrible. What's that? The thing about these things is that you just have to get started. Some. Wise man said, only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. And then I don't know the rest of the song. Da 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 da, ba da ba da boo, ba da ba da ba. Nothing is gonna break. Take my hand, take my whole life too. Was that it? Ah, no one's gonna notice. joke's on me, everyone's gonna notice. There we go. Yay! 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 So, in school, we used to do a test for like to see. We used to do. I don't know why. Everybody did it, by the way, both boys and girls. We did this test to see what kind of jewelry looked good on you, like the metals, because apparently there was some test about there being some science behind that. So we did it for science class. I know, like American schools, they do dissection of frogs. We check out what metals we look best in. So yeah, we did that, and I found out that I was a silver. So it was three kinds. You could either be good with both, you would look good with gold, or you would look good with silver. I look good with silver because I have a cold undertone to my skin. And that has nothing to do with the fact that I am very, 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 very pale. I don't get sun. It's just that the sun burns me. That's why. So you know, that's why. But yeah. So I have silver. I'm a silver person, as we would say. So like whenever people would get me gold stuff, I just like kind of just refer back to my science class and go like, "But I'm silver." Jokes on young me. I don't wear jewelry. Well, I wear one. I wear something that a friend, my flatmate, gave me, which is a just a necklace of Saint Peter. Oh wait, Saint Christopher. The patron saint of travelers, and I got this because we were actually going to London and we were going to stay at a hostel that was St. Christopher's Inn. So I guess it was thematic or something. And our other roommate got one because she was going to Ireland to work. She ended up not going, but she still got it. You know. It's a really nice gesture, and I still have that necklace today. Like, but yeah, so I'm a silver person, and I personally, like, I have all these weird inside jokes with myself that no one else has with me. But the fun thing is that like the Legons are such sun worshippers, and they love gold because you know they think it's a gift from the sun and all that. And they all wear gold stuff. And I feel like even scientifically, the people who would be more like expected to have a silver person would still be like, you know, be wearing gold. But yeah, so I'm just gonna give this a ribbon. Gonna look nice. Don't worry guys, it will look nice in the end. But yeah, so another story from my childhood. I was out on a boat once, and I don't remember why I was on the boat, but I got really, really, really sick. I got so sick that my parent, at least I think it was my parent, said that I looked physically green. I was so pale that I looked green. And of course I got sick right after, but I was outside, so at least I didn't, you know, throw up inside. It was one of those, not cruise ships, it was just, yeah, I guess it's one of Norway's cruise ships, but it's basically just, it takes you from Norway to Sweden. It takes like 2 hours or something. And, A lot of people just joke and call it the ferry to Sweden. Let's see here. Okay, that's done. Nice, nice. I like it. Now the tankards. Yeah. Can't wait to like start drawing these guys. That'll be fun. But yes, so I indeed. No, I'm just trying to think of something else to talk about while I do this. I was given an almanac, or like the option to like make your own almanac, and and um um and I ended up stalling so long that I just kind of like made it for myself, and I also got one from my aunt. She had gotten one from my sister, and but it didn't fit the kind that she liked, because she likes to have a calendar that we get free from the store in the almanac. Oh jeez. And so she gave it to me. So like for a year, I just walked around with like her almanac. It didn't have her personal stuff in it. It was just intended for her. And then I ended up renewing, you could kind of say, because I bought another one when my time was up. I bought another one. I think maybe it was on my friend's bill because they wanted to buy us them. Ended up like doing it myself because I wanted to make sure that my drawing and everything was like correctly. It's not Shadeen, which is what the world that I'm drawing right now. It's not Shadeen related. It's actually from one of my other worlds, and it has like the flag on the background. I'm thinking about maybe getting a Shadeen one for next year. I'll see about what characters I decide to have on the front and what. Well, I guess I'll have the. I don't know if I'll have the Union flag on the back, but at least we'll have the sign flag, or the Zine flag. Okay, I don't know how they do this, but I don't actually know if I care. Do I care? No, I don't care. But yeah, so it's a very nice Christmas gift, and I will probably be using because they come with codes to do the next one. So yeah, I could tell you about. So me and my friends, we used to D&D. I say used to because it's been a very long time since last time. So used to just feels appropriate to use. There's a lot of use in this sentence. And I played for my very first campaign. Don't worry, I'll talk about Popos later. For my very first campaign, I played a rogue gnome that was named, I believe, Miyaki, after one of my like my old 3 big OCs, Kiali, Miyaki, and Alicia. And I was really good at it. I was really good at this rogue, but for some reason I had been watching Spoony the Bard, or Spoony Experiment, and he had been talking about, I've been watching his show Counter Monkey, and I really wanted to play a bard because they just seemed so useful when he was talking about them. So I was like, wow, I really want to play a bard. So I ended up, after the beginner adventure, I ended up like kind of like just retiring that character. She still appeared occasionally. No, actually, she doesn't appear. I don't know what happened to her actually. Maybe she just vanished forever. But she, I think like we were supposed, I don't know if you like played Pathfinder and you do the beginner box there, and you're supposed to walk from Sandpoint and get down to this other place, and kind of just like liberate and save these people. Before Sandpoint, getting to Sandpoint, we had another adventure, and that adventure was to, we were supposed to take over and kill some orcs, because that's what you do in fantasy RPGs, you kill orcs. And apologize to all the orc listeners out there. But yeah, so, but we ended up, I think we went into a goblin lair at some point, and I got really lucky with some rolls, and the rule of cool, I guess. And my character ended up just like very quietly killing a bunch of goblins in their sleep. Just very peacefully. Peaceful way to go. I mean, the best way would not to go at all, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I do love. I've loved role playing ever since I was a kid. I've written plays. I used to write plays as a kid for fun. I used to be in the amateur scene. Of course, my plays were horrendous. Very, very bad. But you have to start somewhere. I probably had, like, there are some Norwegian writers who were probably a source of like inspiration, because I heard that like, oh yes, they had written so and so many plays by the time they were like 15, and my brain was like, well, I have a good imagination. Well, I don't think I was thinking I have a good imagination. I was probably more thinking that I have a usable imagination. So I ended up like trying to write plays. I tried a lot. I tried to write a lot of plays. The heart was there, but I was very rough. It was not very good. But yes, because of that, role-playing was something that I really, really, really enjoyed. I remember with one friend, we just up and started. We had played a little bit of Final Fantasy VIII. We had played a little bit of Final Fantasy VII beforehand, but it really just it didn't appeal to me. So, but then we booted up Final Fantasy VIII, and I just love the campy romance sitcom style of the game. And it was like, it wasn't very, serious and dark and broody. It wasn't like, it wasn't so sad as 7. I have enough sadness in my life. I don't need 7 in my life. I'll replay it when I'm older, I said. And then I played Crisis Core, and I was just sadder. But yeah, so we ended up just like, we were just walking her dog, and we started talking, and I said like, hey, what would happen if right now we fell down through a hole and we came to a bar, like we fell down onto the bar table of Sidon Jabal, and from there it kind of just exploded, and we just started RPing in the Final Fantasy worlds a lot, and that was a lot of fun. Like, we would do this for like 12 hours a day, and I'm not talking like text. We would sit in or like walk around her neighborhood and just walk, not like, climb trees and like, oh yes, look at me, I'm defeating the dragon. No, we would just walk around and like kind of like just explain everything that we were doing, and it was so much fun. I just loved it so much, and it really gave an outlet for all that creative stuff, that creative energy that I had from when I was a kid. And yeah, I guess this is just a big confession stream episode, isn't it? But yeah, so we ended up like making some, stand-in characters. Of course, they were very Suish. They got better in time. We were young. We were like, what, 15, 16? I think I was older than her. But she was like more mature than me. I think, I'm pretty sure that she is still more mature than me. She has a baby right now. She's an adorable little kid. I saw her on Facebook and I was like, oh my gosh, that kid, you've done good. Good job. Good job on your adorable offspring and your adorable hubby, which they met in Final Fantasy 11 while we were playing that, which is another cool Final Fantasy. But yeah, so we would do all this stuff in this world, and after a while we started making like more and more and more characters. After a while we started making so many characters that we just kind of just like broke away from 8 because we had so much stuff that we had enough to create our own world. Yay, that part is done now. And then sad. There we go. Background characters really should be here though. Sad. Actually, maybe I should do the background first. Okay, background line. I don't need you right now. But yeah, I'm all over the place, but let's try and keep a line here. Okay, so we ended up doing a lot of role-playing and just creating worlds, creating characters. We had a lot of fun with that. I remember spending my math classes. I was lost in math after they introduced those longer complicated thingies. Algebra was fine, but it was when they said like, oh yes, you have to solve what's inside the parentheses correctly before you can get to the next thing. That was just too hard for me, and I started failing math very, very hard. It just did not click in my head what I was supposed to do. So I ended up sitting and writing in these notebooks. These little, like, those dinky little notebooks from the company Emo. I'm not even joking. That is what the company was still named. I still use, I believe. I still think I have like some stuff from that. But yeah, there were these pink. I don't even know the size of them anymore, but they were pretty. They weren't the thickest ones, but they did, like, they were just for school anyways, and I just kept telling my teacher that, like, I need more. I don't have any more. And the teacher would just, give them to me. And then, and I would just sit and write stories with our characters, and I'm sure that a lot of people do that still today, or like have been doing this for like years and years. But this was before I like really knew about the internet. It took me a while, even in like back then. It's for 2002, I think, in Norway, in dinky little Norway, to find internet. And we had to use the school class internet, and they were not, they were very, very much on the ball of not letting us play with that internet unless we had valid reason. So we ended up not getting to be on the internet very, very much. We would, print out fan fictions, and we would write our own fan fictions, which was, our stories. And my friend was like, you really like my stories. She didn't really like stop me from doing really weird shit, and I think because of that, I have a lot of the lore for my worlds today is because of that, but it's been revised. One of the... I think I wrote like 26 of those notebooks out, like completely out. And I still own them today. I mean, I don't really want to read them because they're horrendously Mary Sue-ish. But everybody has to start somewhere, so I refuse to let go of them and throw them out. because they're part of me and they're part of my growth, and everybody has to, like, you know, at some point just realize that, like, yeah, this is crap, that's fine, but it's my crap, and I did it. At least it was something I did, and you know, and I had the what's it called, moxie to do it. Let's see, I kind of need a barn in the background here. Let's see. No, Callie, come on. If you're gonna do a barn, do it right. Without a sketch. Um, but yeah, so I did a lot of that. A lot of it. I used to draw, write and draw. A lot of, I didn't draw fan art a lot, but I used to write fan fictions a lot. I probably wasn't even good at it because I never tried. Yeah, I never tried too hard. I was just having fun. But yeah, so but at least I did. But yeah, so where was I going? Oh yeah, I was talking about RPing. So yeah, I always like loved RPing. It gave me an outlet for my creative juices. In school, I wasn't the best best person. I don't know that I could have been. I used to I had a lot of imaginary friends from very early in my life. Things would talk to me and stuff like that. And being able to tell my daydreams to my friend and also write it down and show her that, it really helped with that. I started, like, you know, started talking less to things and more to people. And and it, like, how long do you need your windows to be? I mean, I know you people need your windows, but come on. What was I talking about? Gosh darn it, Ritalin, please kick in. I need to stay focused right now. Oh yeah, stories. Yeah, I would sort of like zone out and go daydreaming and let my quote unquote imaginary friends step in and like just you know, definitely just do my like do stuff for me. So for example, I had 6 of them, and so for like the 6 of the days of the week, one twice, I would have 6 different people being me, and that sounds maybe a little bit scary. And after I got rid of that and it started coming back after I had a small fallout with my friend, yeah, it was scary because I had started enjoying being like actually, you know, being active, being there again. I didn't want to go back. Luckily I don't have that now. Let's see here. I mean, I still have imaginary friends, but I got them under control now, at least. Does this barn have that? My tablet does not have a lot of treasure points, I noticed. Probably has like, what, 800? Let's go say that. I'm wondering if I should make these trees. Nah, I'm not gonna make them trees because the canopy is gonna cover for shit. And you know, I really want to make all those lanterns! Heck yeah! That's like gonna be the best thing in the world! Lanterns! That's good. But yeah, so yes, I enjoy role-playing a lot. I used to do it to a obsessive. Can I call that obsessive? I probably can't call that being a little bit obsessive. But it worked out. I mean, we may have RP'd orally, or verbally, however you say it, for 12 hours plus sometimes per day. Because I used to come over and sleep over a lot, so we, you know, it just happened. And we let it, sorry, and we let it happen. It's still very early here for me. Like I said. And it's not actually that early, it's just that the sun gets up later, so I get up later. The sun and I were in cahoots. So, just a second here. My friend is sick, and my friend, I hope, stays in bed. But yes, from that, we did end up having a fallout, like a proper big fallout, like we never came back together after that. And that was after like, I don't know, like 8 or 12. 8 or 12, that's a lot of years. We were friends from 2001 and until 2010. Yeah, 8 years about. I hope you're staying in bed, my friend. Yeah, but we had a shared world at that point. You know, she had her races or species, and I had mine. They shared a lot of similarities, and they kind of like, you know, all the races on the planet, they kind of like, you know, completed each other. And they and it was basically like, it was our own Final Fantasy world in a way. We used to jokingly call it Final Fantasy 15 actually, back in the day, because this was before Final Fantasy, what was it, 13? No, not 13, this was way before that even. I don't remember which Final Fantasy had come out at that point. but we jokingly called it 15 because we didn't think that the series would ever go to 15. Joke's on us, 15 is out. See how on earth am I gonna get this one though? It's fine. They're it's lumber. That's so sad. But yeah, so I sort of made like a final chapter to our story because I kind of wanted it to feel official. That like, okay, you know what, we're breaking up as friends. It felt like it was a terrible breakup. Not like a messy breakup. It was a very clean breakup in that sense, but it felt terrible. I remember listening to Pink's song So What a lot to make myself feel better about myself because I was feeling so fucking crappy. Oh my gosh, I felt so crappy. But I did get over it, and I wrote my final chapter of our stuff. And I kind of like split up because we did have some characters that, of course, you know, had kids together. Any OC artists or fan OC artists out there who hear this will probably be able to go like, yeah, I know that. That friend when you gotta like break up and then you share characters. You just like, oh great, just wonderful. This is exactly what I wanted in my life right now. And that one looks so freaking wonky. It looks like it's gonna topple. Oh my gosh, maybe I should actually do something about that. This is not gonna work, but whatever. Free to farm. Just gonna straighten this one a little bit. It looks better, at least. I'm just gonna go over it and make sure it's not. It's a little fuzzy. It's a little fuzzy. It's a fuzzy little friend. But yeah, so I had most actually. She had like one species that she had like put a lot of work into and stuff into. And I had, what was it, like 5 species that I put a lot of work into? So I ended up just taking them and keeping them, and that's why Shadeen. That was actually part of the story. The story was that, oh crap, are you kidding with me? Why would I put that on this line? I had, let's see here. 3G line, there, I can put this over now. I basically just had one of my other worlds because I still had abundance of worlds, and one of those worlds had a very OP but not too, I wouldn't call it a stew or a Gary stew still, because he didn't use his powers. He had them, but he didn't like use them to be OP with. He just had them, and then he was just a normal character with normal flaws on the side. Oopsie doopsie. We should be able to find that, or maybe not. Oh, there it is. But yeah, so I just had him and his kids just come in a sort of like cloud ship, if I can call it that. Like not the cloud strife, but cloud as in oh, what's the word I'm thinking about? Well, it's a ship, and it's just a very tall, squarish cloud that sort of just landed on the planet that we shared, and then okay. I'm gonna like just tell you a short summary. Here is the short summary. The short summary is that Sasha, I'm just gonna quickly show you a drawing of Sasha, because I have a drawing of Sasha. That's so I'm gonna show him to you. Let's see. Here we go. Here we go. This dork over here. He had, well, he's the techno whiz of the fam. So he had invented, or he had like been dabbling with magic and technology, and he had found out something that was like, he had started this clock, and he didn't know what the clock was. He was trying to find a clock that would tick down to the next cataclysmic event, because the Leacons experienced cataclysmic. The Leacons are these people, by the way. No, gosh darn it. Thoden is a Leacon. And the Leacon people, farmers mostly, gold obsessed farmers. Sounds very strange, but that's what they are. They would reset their clocks every time a cataclysmic event occurred. And he had wanted to make a timer so that they could find out and kind of like rally champions to help them combat this, basically. And so he created that clock. And that clock had been ticking just fine for a very long time. It hadn't been ticking like faster, slower. It had just been like, you know, it was really just showing us like the number. I think it was just showing 888888, as in like, you know, it was kind of like, you know, not showing anything. And he was okay with that. He just kept an eye on it, really. And then one day suddenly, when he was, you know, he woke up, he got up, he kissed his oh, who was he dating at the time? He was dating someone. I had a lot of polygamistic relationships back then. But yeah, he got up, he went to work, and he looked at the clock. He just happened to look over at the clock because it was just a habit by now. And then he noticed that the clock was ticking. And the clock was ticking down fast. And of course, you know what you do when something like that happens? You panic hardcore. And so he did. He panicked hardcore. Like you do. Let's see, gotta just get this. No! Don't move. Here we go. And he called all his friends. By now, the world was chock full of a bunch of OP characters. We had been replaying a lot of characters. Kind of like, you know, like reboots, like the Marvel universe does all the time. Let's see here. And but yeah, so sorry, that was actually not the point, sorry. But anyway, so he calls forth the champions of, well, their world, which was not surprisingly called Gaia, because, you know, Final Fantasy and all that stuff. Yes, I'm just being completely lazy and just using the line tool for this. There's a lot of tables, okay? Cut me some slack. Oh, thank you, you already have. But yeah, so he called forth the champions, and of course they all rally to his cry, aka they all answer his text messages really fast. Such efficiency. And then he kind of just like, you know, he tries to explain the situation to them. He says that the doomsday clock they have basically is a doomsday clock. Let's not pretend that it's anything else. It's a doomsday clock. It's ticking down, and he's really worried about that. And so they're really worried about that. These characters being, let's see if I can find them, Squid and his family. This was my character, Squid. This was my character, Amir. This was my friend's character. God, I think it's called, I can't remember his name. Anyways, they had kids. So Squid is called, and everyone is, of course, you know, really worried. So you're just gonna just go over and see if I can find anyone else. Off the top of my head, I don't think so. No, I can't find any. Stories maybe? No. VIP maybe? No. But yeah, so he had, actually I think like Squid and Sot are like the two that really survived. Actually no, in this picture, oh, I just closed it, didn't I? Oh well, the winning photo. Let's see, a family photo, and I'll pronounce you. Okay, here it is. So this was my, well, all these were my characters really. This is Squid, by the way. You might remember him. He's not very hard to notice. This is Amir as an adult. This is not his kid actually. This is actually his uncle from this guy, who is the dad of these two. So these two are brothers. Anyway, it's complicated. Kunaks are complicated. So he calls forth all these people that he knows are like, you know, they've helped out the realm before, and he's hoping that they can really get together and like help out once more. Just come on, just once more. Come on, guys, before we maybe like we have to deal with all this crap. And as they're getting ready for what they don't know what might happen, so they're really scared. Understandably, they have no idea that I'm the one orchestrating it all. So, my Sophonix characters, again, just to have you see what characters I'm talking about. Let's see here. Now this guy showed up. This is Dalin. This is a reworked version of that OP character. I made him even less OP now, luckily. So, and his kids, well, they didn't look that way back then. Anyway, he takes the giant cloud ship that he made, and he goes there because he's been told by the foreseer of his world that he has to save these people because something really terrible is happening. The doomsday, of course, is that me and my friend are breaking up, and we might, you know, stuff might get trashed. Let's just say that stuff might get trashed, like, you know, worlds might get trashed and stuff like that. And I didn't want to lose my characters. I didn't want to lose any of my characters. I really liked my characters, so I ended up using this. They all, like, you know, the cloud ship came and they were kind of like confronted with these beings that they had no idea what was, because they never heard of them before, because I kept the universes or the worlds separated back then, because I didn't want my friend to think that, oh no, you have that stupid world, why do you have that one when you have this one with me. So I ended up not telling her about that one, understandably. And not everything was sunshine back then, okay? So, like, you know, sometimes you have friends who are not, like, completely mature, and then they mature after, you know, after a while. But, right, at that instance, like, you know, she was not, yeah, there was a reason why we broke up. But yeah, so the cloud ship basically, I had told Dalin, or the not told, this sounds so weird because you know it's completely going meta, but anyway, I told the foreseer. The foreseer had said that everyone had to be sorted. They had to make sure that only the right people were getting on that ship. And some characters would have to be stay behind, and some characters would have to, you know, like some characters would come, some characters would not. And basically, I left her characters behind along with some characters of mine that I knew that in character they would never leave their spouses. So I kind of like just like, you know, like, okay, these characters they get to stay. These characters get to stay. And I actually left my namesake character behind as well. And the reason for that was that I kind of didn't want, because I'd like it become my nickname by then, and I kind of didn't want to be like, I didn't want to like, I don't know, associated with her because I didn't look like her. She was more of what I wanted to look like, you know. This, well, I was 16 at the time. I hope you'll forgive me for, you know, that. But yeah, she was just this plucky little redhead who had a bad habit of healing both sides of a enemy part, like of the party. She would heal the enemy and she would heal the party. So she was this amazing healer, but you didn't actually want to use her if this had been a game. I always like thought of things as if they were a game. And she would like, you know, she would heal both sides and it would like be like, oh, we're never gonna get out of this freaking boss fight. So I let her stay behind. And I ended up actually going back and fetching her later on because the Leecon, they really, really wanted someone to worship, and they wanted to worship the people who came and got them, you know? They wanted to like, hey, you guys are cool. Can we worship you? And they were like, no, don't. Please don't. We didn't do this for worship. And they ended up fetching a Leecon woman from that world and sort of like giving her to them encased in a crystal. She was already dead. She wasn't killed for this. She was already dead. And they kind of like, you know, those who wanted to, they worshipped her, which, you know, is fine, really, when you think about it. Um, and so they got to worship her, and she got to be encased in a crystal. And I kept that character. It's fun to drag her back up again once in a while, just for fun. But yeah, she's stuck in that crystal. She's the lady of the crystal, and she became a deity on that world. Let's see. Yeah, I will want to do this on that later. And you know, she got to be the ultimate Mary Sue with the whole sacrifice thing. I was like, oh yes, I will sacrifice myself. Although she was already dead, she got dug up. Not really. Legals don't get dug up. Um, but yeah, so I ended up doing that, and after that, my worlds just kind of, they exploded with activity after that, because now I can start connecting them. And I also like kind of adopted a world from another RP that went completely sour and completely south also. I'm very, very wordy in my RPs, and they were not. And instead of telling me that I was being too wordy, and you know, they just decided to like, you know, I'm just gonna answer in one sentence, even though this is clearly a paragraph RP. So after a while they just stopped answering and I just stopped caring, and I just kept the characters in the world from that one as well. Let's see, okay. And then let's see. So yeah, so suddenly I had a bunch of worlds on my hands. I had, let's see here. I had my original world from back when I created Popos. I had Sobnix. And then I had Luigeria, and then Shireen came around, and then Tia Milena came, and here's the sun. And then in order to have a world that they came from and to give reason for why they had the sort of system of government and all that stuff that they have on Shireen, I decided to like make a world opposite, like away from them, that's called Hina. So there was like, that's the world that they came from, that they like did not want to go back to, and that they had all these bad memories with. Oh gosh, oh yeah. And so that's kind of just what happened. I kept all my characters, luckily. We didn't have, it wasn't like, you know, Disney with Oswald losing it because of reasons of contract and stuff. But I don't know, I just liked my characters. And even though like most of my characters are now retired for various reasons, most of them just being that, like, you know, you have characters, some move on, and some were just didn't fit the new canon that I was making. Like I couldn't use the mixed race characters, even though I changed my mind on that, and I now use some of the mixed race characters because I just changed the races to look more like the mixed race version, because I like that one. I like the kind of like grew to appreciate the mixed ones, the hybrids as we call them. And that's what we did. I guess the next part is people. Or, you know, I could also just remove some stuff that's behind some other stuff. Yeah, if you two are like aligned now, I'm just gonna fuse you two so I can delete both lines in one. But yeah, so that is a long rambly version of stuff. I was actually supposed to talk about something else, but okay. Oh yeah, I was supposed to talk about RP stories actually. Oh well. So in one of the reboots, in one of the wacky reboots that we did, we actually did a medieval, or like a pirate slash medieval version of the characters, and that was a lot of fun. A lot of new good characters came out of that. I think I have like 300. There's an OC list on my DeviantArt. It doesn't have all of them there because I just cannot remember them. But it also like puts them in their own universes, and they also show up like who is in which universe, and if they're just, if they're also like in dual universes in a way, you could say. Because some of them are in dual universes. Let's see. Let's see here, just making sure that this person's cloak. There you go. And yes, if anyone has pulled the connection between white mages, the red and white outfits with the triangles to this outfit, yet good job, I salute you. They're gonna be white and gold instead. I'm considering maybe making them blue and gold like the lantern. Just show the lantern off here. Because these are the colors of Nanan Lee. Speaking of Nanan Lee and all the others, of course all of these characters or Isfares comes from the Final Fantasy expression of avatars, Espares, summons, these kind of things. They used to all have like one form or another of dragon stuff. Like they all used to be like different kinds of dragons, but I used to be a huge dragon nerd, but the thing was that I could not draw dragons to save my life. So I ended up changing them into people. I had a small version where they were not people, they were just different things. Let's see, I'm on the right there, good. Yeah, so there's 8 of them because 8 elements. I think I replaced blizzard or ice with a different type. Where are your legs? Was I not thinking when I drew you, or did I just skip? Oh well. Sorry. So anyway, made a bunch of characters. Of course, yeah, the Final Fantasy world. Of course, I also had the Isfares, because I really like the summon thing in Final Fantasy 10 and 8 and all the other games really. I also like the idea from 10 that like there was a specialized class for this thing. So I had and so I kind of like I had to make I just had to make a class on Shadeen, or like I think actually my self-insert was a summoner, but I decided for Shadeen that you would only have a pact with one at a time. You couldn't like just whip out the entire elemental wheel of Isfares. Yes, even the name is very much a callback for that. But from what I know, it's not actually used in Final Fantasy, so I don't think I'll get striked from using Isfare as a term. But I did yeah, I decided that I wanted to have them only be packed one at a time, and I also started giving them all like like personalities and stuff like that. They've had a long time to gestate. It's been since 2002. I think I started making them. No, maybe not 2002, but it was very close to then. Um, and yeah, I just had a truckload of fun. Just like coming up with all the stuff, all the powers and all that thing. Again, now we can go back to the Popo era, which I made when I was like from 11 to 13, I think I worked on that. And I worked on it mostly because we couldn't afford the Pokemon games. So I made a board game, and without knowing it, I actually kind of made a roleplay game of it. Because I was the DM and my brother was the player, and we had stats and we had all these different things for them. I had breeding and all that stuff. I was actually like, in hindsight, I was kind of proud because like a lot of stuff that I thought of before they actually came in Pokemon, the second Pokemon game, and like breeding and stuff like that. I had that in mind, so I was kind of like, like, I had that. Let's see. And I also had like you could upgrade to from bike to motorbike as you got older in the game. And you could, and I also had like you could upgrade from 6 to 9. You could hold up to 9 popos, as I called them back then. And let's see here. And it was a lot of fun. But yeah, my brother was the player. I was the narrator, as I called myself, because we only watched the anime, which in Norway was, of course, just called a cartoon. We didn't know what Japan even was, at least not at that age. And kind of just we kind of just like role played and played pretend and just used this map that I made because my cousin had the games, so I could like kind of like look at that and emulate it, which of course I did. Why would you not emulate something if you have a chance? So indeed. I keep saying that a lot. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. I'm now working on a RPG tabletop version of Shadeen. Oh, you lost your finger. You poor thing. Let's fix that. There you go. You lost the tip of your finger at least. At least. You got me. Hello my honey, hello my sweater, hello my burn. Yeah, there was actually, yeah, just do that. We had a lot of fun I really enjoyed sort of like, directing the story, and that's probably one of the reasons why I sort of became the narrator later on when me and my friend, when we went on for like 12-hour romps through the fantasy escape that we had created. Probably why I still had like that thing, so I would kind of be the narrator, and then she would just be her character and I'd be like all the other characters. Which was okay. I didn't mind. I mean, it would be nice if she like, took initiative once in a while, but I got used to it. Um, and I might have, I don't know, maybe I also like made her used to it, that she could just react, not um, make up stuff on her own. I like not make up stuff. She was very creative. She wasn't a brilliant artist, uh, but she wouldn't like come up with storylines and stuff. Well, that's one table down. See here. Maybe. Oh. Gotta focus for a second there. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Like all these experiences kind of like led up to me being very like enjoying, engaging in RPs, just like having fun in general. Um, I'm sure we will RP again in our little community here, but I don't know when. And I'm just so impatient. Sad. See. But yeah, so had a lot of fun. In my time, I had a lot of fun. Wrote a lot of stories. Sorry. Um. Let's see. Just remove. See, this is why I haven't fused those two layers yet, so that I can mess around right next to the pillars and not have to worry about it. So, let's see, background characters again. But yeah, so I Actually, this is an okay time to stop. It's been nice. Thank you if you took the time to watch this entire video. I'm sorry I did not finish this. It's a big project. It's going to be the October wallpaper for my Patreons. So they will get the big version of this. This is already a pretty big canvas, to be honest. But yeah, so thank you again for watching, and I hope you have a very, very nice day. So, see ya. Bye bye.